afternoon. How are you? Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Let me tell you a little something. I haven't been in kindergarten for so long, and I'm so happy that you let me in. Thank you. Can you say you're welcome? Oh, you guys are so wonderful. Hey, guess what? I'm going to teach you something today. Are you ready to learn? Say, I'm ready to learn.
I'm ready.
Now tell your neighbor, I'm going to learn something. That's great. I'm excited. Okay, check it out. Did you know that in your stories, there's characters? Do you know there's characters?
Yes.
Say, I know there's characters.
I know that's good.
Great. And characters are in the book. So that's awesome. Do you know sometimes characters do things, right? I hope they do things in books, right? They do some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, sometimes we have to figure out why. Why do you like Christmas?
Yeah.
Do you like it? Why?
Because Santa Claus. And there's cookies.
And there's cookies.
And presents.
And presents. And you want presents, right?
Yes.
Well, look at this. Sometimes characters do things in books because they want to. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Say,
yeah.
Mr. Young, that makes sense. Look. You know what else? Characters, they do things sometimes. Why do you eat?
Because it makes you healthy.
It makes you healthy
And stronger.
and strong. You need food, don't you? You need it. Say, I need food.
I need food. It makes you grow.
That's right, look. Sometimes characters do things because they need to. Sometimes characters do things like when I hear a scary story, sometimes I ask my mommy and daddy if I can sleep in their bed. Because I'm afraid. Say, I'm not afraid of nothing. I like it. You're all so brave. Hey, check this out. Sometimes characters do things because they love someone. Sometimes Prince Charming might buy a necklace for a girl because he loves her. That's awesome. Hey, good beat. I like it. Next, last thing. Sometimes characters do things that they don't like something. Like sometimes, I don't like. I don't like spinach. So I tell my parents that I'm not hungry and I hide outside. Yeah, I don't like spinach. So that's why I do things. Now I'm going to show you something. In this book, there's a bunch of little poems. And I'm gonna read them to you. And I want you to think about, why is that character doing that? Maybe it's one of these things, right? Yeah. Let's check. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, look at your neighbor and say, this is gonna be awesome. Great. All right, first thing. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. I wish they had super glue way back then. Then they could have put Humpty together again. Why would they want to put Humpty together again? Because they're afraid of him? No, because they like him or they love him. So that's why they wanted to put Humpty back together again. Listen to this one. Are you ready for another one?
Yeah.
Give me a thumbs up if you're ready for another one. Sweet drink. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. But the dog couldn't wait. So when dinner was late, he ordered pizza by phone. That's funny. You're supposed to laugh. Okay. Why did he order food?
Because it was late for food.
Yeah, the food was gone. He was hungry, so he needed it. He needed food. That's why, look, the dog ordered pizza because he needed it.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Are you ready for another one?
Yeah.
All right. I love your thumbs up. That's so cool.
Down.
All right, I'm gonna make sure you can see this one, okay?
Thumbs down.
This one is, there was an old woman who lived in a shoe,
Ew.
which wasn't too bad when the winter winds blew, but the strong summer sun was too hot to handle, so she packed up her stuff and moved to a sandal. So she's not in a shoe anymore, she's in a sandal because she doesn't like the cold. She moved because she does not like the cold. Say, no cold.
No cold.
Absolutely, good stuff. So you're all gonna move to a sandal?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Thought maybe you would. Roses are red, violets are blue. I wish I could ride on a big kangaroo. Roses are red, violets are blue. I wish I could ride on a dinosaur too.
Whoa.
Why does this character want to ride on a dinosaur?
He loves it.
Oh, he could love the dinosaur, but I think he really, really wants to. You see that? He really, 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 really wanted to.
Oh, good.
So some characters do things because they want to. Some do things because they need to. Others do things because they're afraid. Some do it because they live. And still others do it because they don't like something. You know what? I want you to put your finger by your head and say, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Awesome. Now, the last thing I want you to do, guys, is I want you to... Do you see those chairs over there?
Yes.
I want you to touch 2 chairs and then go to your seat silently and sit like this. Can you do it? Can you do it? All right, let's see it. Go. Uh-oh. Those are some muscles. That's great. Kindergarten, you've been awesome. Thank you so much for having me. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for letting me read to you. Bye-bye. First of all, my name is Mr. Young. Say hi, Mr. Young. And your names are a bunch of cool first graders. Hi, bunch of cool first graders. I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, you're a cool first grader. I like it. Hey, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to read you a book today, but guess what? I want you to be thinking carefully while I read. But first, I want you to have a good time. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to read you this book. We're going to have some laughs. It's going to be great. Say, this is going to be great, and put your arms in the air. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Now, this is something that your teachers created. It's like, it's an age-old secret worth millions and millions of dollars. This is an arrow. Right? Yeah. It's going to be a timeline. Here's a dot. Say dot.
Dot.
And one more.
Dot.
Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to read, and the main character is a pigeon. Okay?
What?
That's a pigeon. It's a bird.
The
Yeah?
green one.
Okay? It's the main character. And what we're going to do is we're going to think about how the pigeon feels when he really, really wants something, and when he gets something, and then after he has something, okay? So I'm going to ask you about that at the end. Then we're going to think about, what is this pigeon mostly doing? That word says action. Say action!
Action!
Ooh, good voice inflection. I like it. Now, and then we're going to think about why the pigeon is doing what he's doing. He's a tricky little pigeon, but you little detectives are going to figure it out, okay?
Okay.
You ready for me to begin reading?
Okay.
Say, get on with it already.
Get on.
All right, I'm going to read from right here. This is called The Pigeon Wants a Puppy by Mo Willems. Oh, hello. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you? Good.
Well, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. By the way, do you know what I want?
A puppy. Yes, a puppy.
What I wanted forever?
A puppy.
Well, at least since last Tuesday. Oh, puppy! Puppy, puppy, puppy. Say puppy, puppy, puppy. Oh, you all want puppies too? That's cute. Oh, don't worry. I'll take care of it. I promise to water it once a month. What? Everybody knows that puppies need plenty of sunshine and water.
It's not a flower.
Oh, I get it. You don't want me to be happy, do you?
No.
You don't want me to take a piggyback ride on my puppy! Or play tennis with it. You just don't understand. I'm a puppy-loving pigeon. Aw, puppy. I want a puppy right here, right now! Woof. What's that? Woof, woof. Is it possible? Have my dreams come true? Ah! It's huge! The teeth, the hair, the wet nose, the slobber, the claws. I mentioned the teeth, right? Really, I had no idea. I changed my mind.
He needs a mouse.
I want a walrus.
What?
What? Oh my goodness. If you like that story, clap for it. Tell your neighbor that was pretty good. All right, sweet. Now let me ask you a question. In the beginning of the story, when he was like, I really want a puppy. I promised to water it and, keep it alive and stuff like that. How do you think he was feeling?
Happy.
Let's go with happy. So here's my smiley face. He's happy. Now, when he got that puppy, things changed, didn't it? How did he feel? Ah, you're scared.
You look sad.
Oh, okay. Here, he's
Right over there.
How do you make scared?
Maybe a big, wide, open mouth.
Okay. Ah!
No, erase the
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. How's that? Okay, cool. Now at the end,
He was mad.
how was he?
He was mad.
Sometimes, I kept asking him, I'm so sorry. Sometimes I have to look back in the book, and I look and I see, I want a walrus. You know what? I could stay happy, but I think he's really wishing for something. He's hoping for something. So I'm going to use a word, hopeful. Have you ever heard the word hopeful?
Yes.
Great. So, hopeful, I'm going to make his eyes a little, I don't really know how to make hopeful. So I'm going to make him happy. And then I'm going to put little hearts up here because that's what Mo Willems did. And he's an author and he's pretty smart. Now, for most of the book, what did the pigeon do? What was he doing?
They were arguing about getting a puppy.
Okay, let's say this thing moves. Arguing about this says getting a puppy. Okay. What are you getting? That's my best handwriting.
What?
He's a lefty, like me.
I'm a lefty. Now, why do you think he was arguing for a puppy? Yes, you, sir. You know what? Everybody at the same time. Everybody at the same time. When I count down from 3, I want you to yell why you think he was arguing for a puppy. Are you ready? Yeah, you're right. He really wanted one. He wanted it. That is so cool. So, at the beginning of the story, when he was begging, he was all happy, and then he got scared when the puppy came out, and then he became very hopeful because he really wanted a walrus now. And the whole time, he was arguing for a puppy, And why? Because he really, really... That's fantastic. Did you know in the books that you read at your desk, characters, they always have a reason why they do things. So when you're reading independently, I want you to think, why is my main character doing this? Put your finger on the side of your head and be like, Right? I know. All right. Last thing. In just a second, I'm going to ask you to stand up. When you do, before you walk silently back to your seats, I want you to touch something, one thing that's red, one thing that's green, and one thing that's yellow. One red, one green, one yellow.
Hey, I'm yellow. Don't touch me.
He's wearing yellow. That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's great. All right, and back to your seats. Oh my goodness. Time to go. Bye. Thank you so much. All right, guys. My name is Mr. Young, and I'm here to do a quick lesson for you. It's going to be fast and furious, so listen up. All right, here we go. We're going to do a lesson on characters. You're familiar with characters in your books, right? Okay. Well, we're going to look at them, and we're going to give them names for different reasons. All right? The first, I'm going to read you a story. Then we're going to think about the character. And we're going to decide what kind of characters they are. There's always different types. And authors, on purpose, put these characters in the book to make the book more interesting. If you have flat, two-dimensional characters, characters with no personality, nobody wants to read the book. Okay? So, you might have a major character. Someone who is like the most important. You might have a minor character. Somebody who's not really all that important. You might have a dynamic. Say dynamic. Dynamic. Dynamic character is someone who changes throughout the book. You ever read a book like that? Where it's like in the beginning they're like this, oh, super nice human being, and then in the end they're like this evil, awful character, right? That grows fangs. No? Never heard of one? I don't think there is a book like that exists, but then there's static characters that don't change at all. They just don't change. Then you have round characters. Characters that are shaped like circles. No, not really. Round characters are complex characters. You just can't quite figure them out. They keep doing these things and you're like, now, how on earth would that character do that? I just don't get it. Well, they're called round. I don't know why. Flat character is someone who has no personality. They always do the same thing. They're very predictable. It's like, oh, of course, you know, the piano just landed on that character's head, but he's always going to be happy. Oh, yeah, look at that. He's smiling. Of course. Protagonist is going to be, give me a thumbs up if you've heard that word. Protagonist. Sweet. Protagonist is that main character that's trying to solve a problem. Then you have that silly antagonist, right? He's always there, and he's trying to prevent the main character from solving his problem. And then you have something called, have you ever heard of a hero? I think it's your theme, right? A hero? You know, like Superman, greatest hero of all time. Don't argue. Then, you also have an anti-hero. That's someone who solves their problem, but they do it in a very bad way. It's kind of like if the protagonist in a story, which is this main character who's trying to solve the problem, needs money, and instead of opening up a daycare, he robs a bank. That's an anti-hero. Because he solved this problem, but is robbing banks a very good thing to do? No, probably not. All right. Yes, it is. All right. You and me, later on. It's bank 30, bro. All right. So I'm going to pass this out to you. Actually, you're going to pass this out to everyone. And you get the remaining. Thank you, sir. Then I'm going to read you out of my favorite book. Anybody seen this book before? Yeah, The Stinky Cheeseman and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. Yeah, good book. I'm going to read you a story called, I had a marker in this and I took it out because that's how I do. The Princess and the Bowling Ball. Have you ever heard of The Princess and the Pea? Yeah? Okay. Well, here's the... This table's heard of everything. Or do you guys just like to not? No? Okay, cool. Oh, it's the same thing. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, you know what? For your service, you guys get all of these. Congratulations. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Once upon a time, there was a prince. That's our first character. And this prince's dad and mom, the king and queen, somehow got it into their royal heads that no princess would be good enough for their boy unless she could feel a pea through 100 mattresses. Okay, picture that. You got 100 mattresses, and then you got a tiny little pea like this. And you put it underneath 100 mattresses. Are you going to feel that in your back?
No.
Probably not. So it should come as no surprise that the prince had a very hard time finding a princess. Every time he met a nice girl, his mom and dad would pile 100 mattresses on top of a pea and then invite her to sleep over. When the princess came down for breakfast, the queen would ask, "How did you sleep, dear?" The princess would politely say, "Fine, thank you." And the king would show her the door. Now this went on for 3 years. And of course, nobody ever felt the pea under 100 mattresses. Then one day, the prince met the girl of his dreams. And that night, before the princess went to bed, the prince slipped his bowling ball underneath the 100 mattresses. When the princess came down for breakfast the next morning, the queen asked, "How did you sleep, dear?" "This might sound odd," said the princess, "but I think you need another mattress. I felt like I was sleeping on a lump as large as a bowling ball." The king and queen were satisfied. The prince and princess were married, and everyone lived happily, though maybe not completely honestly, ever after. So, just happen to carry one of these in my pocket. You too? You too? Yeah, that's what I thought. Here we have the prince, the king, the queen, and the princess. Okay, let's first talk about the prince. You have a list of different types of characters in front of you. And you can keep this list, because I promise you, it's kind of like a math formula. There's always going to be one of these characters in there. You just got to figure it out. I think I'll take one too. Sorry, still my bag. Who is the major character? The prince is going to be your major character. Anybody disagree? He's major because he's vital to the story. He's totally in the story the whole time. Now, our minor characters are going to be probably all of these. Anybody disagree? Well, you should, because they're not minor characters. Everybody's important. Pay attention. Dynamic character. A dynamic character changes over time. There's only one character that changes in this story, and that is the prince.
Princess.
The princess? You think the princess?
Yeah.
How does she change?
More than one.
Oh, yes! You're absolutely right. There are more than one princess. So we have princesses. You're right. And I like where you're thinking. The character changes to a different character. What I'm talking about is a character being a good person at one point and then changing into an evil person. That as an example. So the dynamic character, the prince, starts with, "Okay, I'll listen to my parents," and then guess what? He's like, "Forget that. I'm never going to get married. All these beautiful princesses keep coming by, and I can't marry one of them." So he turns into a dishonest prince. Next, we have static characters. Which characters remain the same? Like the king and queen, they always want the prince to have a princess that can feel a pea through 100 matches. So, the king, the queen, and the princess all pretty much stay the same. They don't change. Their personalities don't change, do they? Next, Do we have any round characters? Remember? The round character, the complex character. I think the complex ones, I think you could argue that the king and queen are complex because we have no idea why in the world. I mean, who stacks 100 mattresses ever, right? What in the world? Do we understand what they're trying to do? Does anybody understand? Yeah, I don't get it either. So let's say that they're complex. Now, I get it. I get the prince. I understand him. We're like brothers, you know? He's got all these beautiful princesses coming through, you know, and he's just like, I kind of want to get married. I got married. I get it. It's a good time. You know, marriage is cool. You get a friend for life. So, I get it. The princess, yeah, she wants to get married too. No problem. Next, we have, who is the protagonist? That is a word that I asked your teachers before that you would be able to tell me, or at least recognize it. So I'm going to ask you, who is the protagonist? Yes, sir.
The prince?
Yes. The protagonist. He's trying to solve this problem. He wants to get married and he can't. Nicely done. Who is teaching? Oh, right on 5th grade teachers. Good job. Now, who's the antagonist? Is there more than one? Who is trying to prevent the prince from solving his problem? Yes. So we have, these are both antagonists. Cool. Then, now we have to decide. We have to make a judgment. And I'm going to let you talk to your table about this. Was our protagonist, the prince, an anti-hero? I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to talk to your table. And then tell them why. Why you think so. All right, and stop. Everybody look up. It's either a yes or a no. You're going to yell it in 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Maybe.
I hear a maybe. Let's go with maybe. Let's think about it. How did the prince solve his problem? He took the pea out and he put it in a bowling ball. Is that against his parents' wishes?
Yes.
Are you supposed to obey thy mother and father?
No. Yes. Yes.
And what does that make you if you don't obey them? Does it make you an anti-hero?
No.
No?
Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Well, you get what you want. But did you get it honestly?
No.
See, I get it. You all understand what an anti-hero is. I just don't know where your morals are set. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the prince was an anti-hero. Now, while you're reading independently sometime, I know it may seem like magic, but the book you're reading, as long as it's fiction, you'll be able to apply some of these words. Think about the main character in your book and be like, is this the major character? Okay. Now that it's the major, are they dynamic? Does their personality change every time? What problem are they trying to solve? Are they doing it in a good way? Or are they becoming an anti-hero? Anyway, things to think about. Thanks for having me. Y'all have a great day.